What up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah, man. I'm back with another episode. I'm back for another week. I'm back here in front of you to give you all the news that you can use, all the views that you can use. Before I start, I'd like to give or wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. Um, Without mothers, the world would be a much different place. Probably would be uninhabited because who would give birth if it wasn't for the mothers? Everybody's a mother, and hopefully, I get that same energy next week. I mean, next month when it's Father's Day. When a lot of times you hear, "Well, not everybody's not a father, but everybody's a mother," even though some people just give births. And other people they say, "Oh, you're just a sperm donor." Neither here nor there. I'm not trying to get into. I'm really not trying to spread any negativity right now, especially on Mother's Day. But it's kind of where my head is leaning toward. I ain't gonna lie. But once again, I wish Happy Mother's Day to each and every mother out there, listening and viewing the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. This week will be a two-topic episode. Yes, a two-topic episode. While my camera just blurred up for a minute. I will talk about my New York Knickerbockers in their loss last night against the Boston Celtics, which brought the series to Knicks up 2-1. That's something that needs to be restated over and over and over and over and over again. The Knicks are up 2-1 going into game 4 tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, and the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. I'll be talking about what happened in game 3. I'll be talking about how we got to a 2-1 lead and how it seems oh so convenient that a lot of the media pundits who had predicted a sweep or a gentleman's sweep and then were pissing in their pants last Monday night, last Wednesday night, are now coming out the woodwork to pretty much give the proverbial, "I told you so. This series is over. I told you so. The Celtics are on a different level. I told you so. The Knicks are not a good team. You get the gist. So I will be talking about that. And the second and last topic I'll be discussing was last night's WWE PLE offering a Backlash St. Louis, headlined by the WWE Undisputed Championship match between the 17-time champion, the self-proclaimed, or should I say, WWE proclaimed greatest of all time, John Cena, defending against the hometown hero, Randy Orton. Yes, I'll be talking about that match in particular because that match was actually a microcosm of my overall feeling concerning the WWE right now in its current state, and probably how I'm going to be feeling for the foreseeable future. With a 5-match card, I'm not going to go over each and every match because the matches were there. It was good. It was all right. Did it get my blood boiling? Did it get me erect? And no pause. I said what I said. No, not really. Tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. You know when I turned on the PLE? Right before the main event. Yeah. So those will be the topics of the day. Probably get out of here and keep the streak going of 90 minutes or less. But before I get the festivities on the way, like I said, I want to talk about Mother's Day. As a matter of fact, I want to talk about mothers. More specifically, my mom. Um, my mother passed away 19 years ago. 19 years ago this October. Actually, next Saturday would be her 81st birthday. She passed away at the tender age of 62. And without my mom, not only would I not be here, but I would not be the man that I am. I was raised in a quote unquote one parent household. I was raised with by the combination of my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. There was no real male figures in my house. The one male figure that came into the abode was an uncle that I'm not particularly fond of, and he passed away some years ago. But uh, would I consider him a role model? Yeah, if you want to think about everything that you're not supposed to be, but that's neither here nor there. Not talking, no wasting my breath, talking about my late uncle. But my mom's name was Glinda Stephens. Her middle name was Darlin. Yes, Darlin. Darlin. And she was a darling. Um, was she perfect in other people's eyes? No. Was she perfect in my eyes? Yeah. Um, did she have to battle her fair share of demons? Yeah, but don't we all? I'll tell you the truth. I feel like me battling the demons that I had over the years and successfully overcoming those, I would attribute it to what my mom instilled in me. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I feel like it, because on this Mother's Day, I have a lot of people in my life, a lot of people in my family that I could lean on. My mother-in-law, number one. I have various aunts through marriage that are my aunts that I can lean on, and they are wonderful mothers in their own respect. Um, I have aunts that just through years of being in the family, um, that I consider motherly figures at times. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like here's one story before I get everything on the way. Right. So when I was in elementary school, right, a lot of people, a lot of people of a certain generation, newer generation, don't understand what kind of school lunch we used to have. And the combination, you look back and you're like, what the did were they serving us? Right? I mean, we had pizza with a cup of pineapples, chopped pineapples, and milk. And wanted to know why we wasn't sick, why we didn't have diarrhea, why whatever, right? So we had the murder burgers with the fries, we had chicken patty, we had fish with cheese. Now, not the fillet of fish. No, 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 no. It's like a little fish patty, but it had cheese in it. Not on top, in it. It was like baked with cheese. And every time, you know, this was served, we kind of figured out that on Thursdays we would have fish and cheese. And it made me utterly ill, made me sick. So I think we lived maybe about 4 blocks away from the school. And my mother, on those particular days, they would have fish and cheese or or the pizza. A lot of times I didn't eat school lunch. People called me spoiled. I don't give a rat's ass. Didn't give a rat's ass then. Damn sure don't give a rat's ass now. Because it's great for the story. A lot of times when we had those offerings, my mom would actually, she wouldn't send lunch with me. She would actually bring lunch to the school at lunchtime. So I would have it piping hot. So I had hot dogs or pork and beans and franks, um, fresh hamburger, potato salad, fried chicken, straight from home. And all the kids, some of the kids would would tease me, like, "Oh, my, Michael think he's special because he got to have his mother come up here and bring him food." Now I look back, I'm like, "You just mad because your mother didn't give a rat's ass about your ass." She was like, "That mother F is in school. He gonna eat what he gonna eat. When he get home, he gonna still eat what he gonna eat. I don't got time to be taking time off work." Fortunately or unfortunately, no matter how you want to, depending on how you want to look at it, my mom had free time. Take take of that what you will. So she would bring the food up, and she would walk our dog, my grandmother's dog, Doberman Pinscher, named Lady. And up until fifth grade, I ain't gonna lie, my mom's kind of walked me to school, and of course, I would get teased about that. "Oh, what you gonna do when your mother gonna walk you up to junior high school?" Now, my mom instilled toughness in me because, in other words, a lot of times she's like, "Listen, I'm not raising you to be no pansy, but at the same time, I want to spend time with my son and kill two birds with one stone. Walk the dog, walk my son to school. My son don't like the lunch. Guess what? I got time. I'm gonna go to lunch." That's the type of my mom. That's the type of mother. Just a little hint of what kind of mother my mom was. Um, I went to restaurants, like sit down restaurants, at the age of 5, sometimes 2, 3 times a week. Um, I was taught from an early age, if you have to look down at the menu and look at the price on the menu before you order, guess what? Shouldn't be going out to eat. Got taught that early. Got also taught that when you come out, you don't come out on a budget. You don't go out on a budget. If you got to count your pennies, you shouldn't be going out. And at the same time, if you get good service, then you reward the people that give you that good service. If you don't get good service, you still reward them, but at the same time, you let it be known that this is unacceptable. Those are just little things. One last tidbit when it comes to schooling. My mother would sign me up for all these different programs. We had what we call prep for prep back in the 80s. It was almost akin to, not I wouldn't say charter schools now, but it was one of those specialized schools. And I was part of the National Beta Club, Junior Beta Club. And yeah, don't get it misconstrued because of my boisterous personality. I was very reserved back then, but I also had a good head on my shoulders, good brain, and I used it. But one of the standards in my household was this. Yeah, yeah, we know. In school, in your class, 65 might be passing, but in this house, anything less than a 75 is failing. Now, when I got older, listen, they gave me a D. Guess what? I'm taking that D and I'm running with it. But those were the standards that my mom held me to. To this day, I will say I do feel a little. Well, I do feel like I have disappointed her in one way because she told me I owed her 3 pieces of paper: high school diploma, bachelor's, no, high school diploma, associates, and bachelor's. Those are 3 pieces of paper that she expected me to get. And I didn't achieve that. I've achieved a lot of things in my life, considering that I didn't achieve those things. But that's one thing. And I know the old saying, "Oh, it's never too late." No, I know it's never too late. It's sometimes motivation. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But those are the type of uh, standards that I try to instill in my kids. And they'll say I forced them to go to college. My thing was college was like that was a no brainer. You're gonna go. What you can do there, then every time stop for you know. But yeah. So uh, was some yeah to see right now. Okay. With that being said, this and
I swear, StreamYard, y'all on some bullshit. Show is coming up. Pause.
Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hot the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed for living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the world of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world at what he does. Tap in.
Fuck that! You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The rest doesn't give a fuck.
In the words of Brad Winchester from Gimmick Infringement, these last couple minutes, I have to use the frame of mind that goes best with this crap that has happened during this stream, and that is embrace the mess. Yes, I will definitely embrace the mess. And you know who else will be embracing the mess? The New York Knickerbockers. The New York Knicks lost yesterday, Saturday afternoon in the Mecca in their first home game of the Eastern Conference semifinals to the Boston Celtics to the score of 115-93. This game actually let everybody come all out the woodwork to say I told you so, like I said in the intro. this game started off, unfortunately, like game two. Game two, in the first quarter, we were outscored 24-13. But in the last stanza, we outscored the Celtics 30-17. In game one, we fought them tooth and nail in the first quarter to the tune of 26 for the Celtics, 25 for the Knicks. In the second quarter is where we got outscored 35-20, but as usual, we came through not only in the clutch in the fourth quarter, but we came through in the third quarter, outscoring them 30-23 and 25-16, respectively. In game three, we allowed them to race out to a 36-20 lead, and they never looked back. They were leading at halftime 71-46. The only quarter in which we outscored them was the fourth quarter, but this time the lead was too much for us to overcome. The lead was up to 31 points at one point. And I was in correspondence with Tyler McDowell blanking of gimmick infringement. And he was asking me, well, he was saying how disappointed he was in the energy level, how disappointed he was in the fact that they were down 26 points in the first half at halftime. And due to the fact that we had just came back 2 consecutive games from 20-plus point deficits to beat these Boston Celtics, there was no way in hell I could allow myself to get too out of whack. Now, what's the probability of that happening 3 times in a series? Nevertheless, 3 times in a row, very slight. But the same probability it was for it to happen back-to-back times on the road. The energy. You see, what bothers me about game 3 was twofold. One, people say the lack of intensity. Well, it's hard to keep up the intensity when you're bricking shots. We were 5 of 20 from downtown in the game. 5 of 25 for 20% from 3. So it's hard to keep up the intensity when you're shooting 20% from 3, especially early in the first quarter when they hit 6 of their first 7 shots, and we were brick. That's number one. Number two, what bothered me the most was the lack of defensive intelligence. That's the best way to say it. Defensive intelligence. Gone was the piranha defense that we put on display in the fourth quarters of games 1 and 2. Gone was, okay, we're going to either stick to our man and fight over that screen, or we're going to be on a string and switch consecutively, and everybody's in tune with each other. Gone was, okay, we're going to go up on that screen instead of playing drop coverage and allowing 3 after 3 after 3 at the top of the key on the wings. There was a lot of times that we got caught scrambling, and yes, a lot of the Celtics unforced errors, if you will, in the first 2 games of these uncontested shots they bricked, they made in game 3. So a lot of the pundits saying, well, the Celtics remain true to who they were, but these are the same pundits that were saying that they were playing idiotic games in games 1 and 2. Everything that's been said in the first 3 games neglects the fact of, listen, They weren't playing against themselves, they were playing against us. It's almost like they've just wrote off games 1 and 2 as flukes. Yeah, a 3 here, a 3 there. Things could have been different, but they weren't. A win is a win is a win. It's almost like they're trying to say that us Knicks fans are delusional. We never said sweep. Tell you the truth, my prediction was Knicks in 7. Once we won the first 2, it still made the same. Now, I will say this. I didn't expect us to win game 3. I figured worst case scenario, matter of fact, best case scenario is we split, they get game 3 because they're desperate, they got their backs against the wall. We're going to come out, I won't say not as hungry as we should, but subconsciously they knew that they had a game to trick off. And the Knicks are known of tricking off games, just like they did in the Detroit series. They tricked off a game, game 5. Do you really believe? Now, it could be deja vu from last year. Because last year in the Eastern Conference semifinals, guess what? First 2 games at home against Indiana, we won. We went up 2-0. We split on the road, came back home 3-1. No, matter of fact, I'm lying. We split on the road, came back. Matter of fact, yeah, I think we were up at 3-2 at one point, and we lost the last 2 games. But I know we was up 2-0. So, what are we to do? The second thing that happened yesterday that cannot, under no circumstance, happen again is you cannot allow Peyton effing Pritchard to go off for 23 points. At all. I know he's the 6th man of the year, but guess why he's the 6th man? Because he's not good enough to start. Just like they try to pick on Brunson on the defensive end, when he's on the court, when Peyton Pritchard's on the court, we need to make him pay. Big body Brunson, if they allow him to stay on Peyton Pritchard, which they probably don't and won't, even though Drew Holiday is still hampered, take his ass down to the post. Or search for those matchups like they search for our matchups. Get him off the court. Or if they want to keep on playing him, make them pay for playing him. He's not a defensive stalwart. He's Peyton effing Pritchard. Up until that game. Game 1, 13 points, 3 for 6 shooting, 21 minutes on the floor. Game 2, 9 points, 3 for 9 shooting, 21 minutes on the floor. And last night, they allowed him to stay on the floor for 34 minutes. That can't happen. Everybody's talking about such a bounce back game for Jason Tatum. Was it? Yeah, he had 22 points. Yeah, his percentage was slightly better because in games 1 and 2, he was 7 of 23 and 5 of 19. Last night, he was 8 for 20. But still, he was still settling for those threes. He was still settling for those long twos. He was still settling for the contested shot. Jaylen Brown started out early, attacking the basket, but he was 7-18. You know where we lost this match? We lost this game because we allowed them to get Peyton Pritchard off for 23 points. That's where we lost. We lost by 22. Peyton Pritchard had 23. Derek White, he's going to get his points. Al Horford, 15 points. First time this series, he scored in double digits. He had 7 points in game 1 in 34 minutes and 4 points in game 2 in 29 minutes. And then last night, 34 minutes, 15 points. Those 2 players are why they won that game. Now, concerning the Knicks. Once again, a lot of pundits are saying, well, Hacker Mitch. Well, they don't fault Boston for doing that because weren't these the same people that were saying Boston needs to stop doing that because it was just taking them out of the rhythm and it was slowing the game down, and then it just got them in the penalty earlier, blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of people are trying to take the task. Mitch Robb can't be 4-12 from the free throw line. But at the same time, like, I'm sorry. If you're up 25 points, and I'm talking to the Celtics are up 25 points, and you're still so scared, so you're still so afraid that you're going to intentionally foul our center because you that shook. And I'm supposed to give these mother effers respect? Why? Don't give me no respect for that. At all. OG, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field. That's unacceptable. Yes, he has, in the games 1 and 2, he played good defense. In game 1, he dropped 29 points. And since then, since game 1 of the series, he's had a combined 7 points on 3 of 15 shooting. I'm sorry. You're getting paid how much? Last year, you had an excuse. You were injured. Even more so, you get credit because you came out in that game 7 unable to even walk and tried to do a Willis Reed, hit the first 2 shots of the game, but then he was incapacitated. And salute to him. But you're getting paid $200 and some odd million, getting paid $50 million a year. We need more than a combined 7 points from you. Mikal Bridges, 12 points, 6 for 10. But he gets a reprieve because games 1 and 2, especially game 2, where he showed out in that fourth quarter and let that come back and sealed both games on the defensive end. Listen, you get a mulligan, you get a pass. But OG, come on. The only way we're going to win this series is if everybody steps up. Everybody steps up. Everybody has to do their part. Everybody. Whoever's on the floor has to do their part. Pressure Chua, there's a Pressure Chua sighting. Yeah, I know it was garbage time, but 6 minutes, 6 points. While he's not a defensive stalwart like Mitchell Robinson is, at the same time, you're going to have to consider giving him more minutes in place of Mitch Robb to try to divert them or stop them from this Hacker Mitch shit. Josh Hart, 10 points. But more importantly, Josh Hart has to be aggressive on the offensive end. Just like in game 2, he took 15 shots, 42 minutes, 23 points. He has to be aggressive on the offensive end. He cannot hesitate. If it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. But he has to be a threat. Because if he's not a threat, then that allows them to sag down and trap and load up on Brunson. If OG is not being aggressive and not not even attempting his shots. That once again allows them to play 3-on-5, which is not good. When Mitch Robb is in the game, that allows them to be 2-on-5, which is not good. Game 4 is going to be the pivotal game. A lot of times in these series, Game 5 is pivotal. Of course, Game 1 just to set up the tone, but Game 5 is pivotal, especially if we go into Game 5 tied 2-2. But Game 4 is pivotal in this respect. We won the first 2 in a row. We have quote-unquote home court advantage, even though we are currently 5-0 on the road and 1-3 at home in this postseason. In order for us not to have to depend on winning 3 games once again during a series, 3 road games once again during the series, we have to win Game 4. And that gives us 3 games, 3 shots to get 1. 3 shots to get 1. Now I hear a lot of talk of, oh, it's a wrap. It's a rizzy for the Knicks. Yo, look, the Celtics trick off more games than the Knicks. The only reason the Celtics won the championship last year, they had the easiest road to the championship in recent history. Think about it. They faced the Mavs in the finals when it should have been OKC, should have been Denver, should have been Minnesota, should have been anybody but the Mavs. They beat the Pacers last year due to us not falling apart, but literally physically falling apart. And the Pacers won and beat us in Game 7. And I'm not saying that we would have beat the Celtics last year, but we wouldn't have got swept. So I don't understand how people are saying, oh, the Celtics are going to win 4 straight. The Celtics are going to win 4 out of 5 games. That's possible for the Celtics to win 4 out of 5 games. Because throughout this whole season, everything is, the only anomaly has been the last game of the season, or the last regular game during the regular season, and the first game of this series when we actually remain nip and tuck. All the other games, they've sprinted out to a big lead, and they've held us off. It's imperative for the Knicks to not only get off to a good start, but more importantly, not allow Boston to run and hide. We have to be within striking distance in that 4th quarter and allow Boston to get tight. Allow Boston to start thinking and hoping that history doesn't repeat itself again, or, oh my God, it's crunch time. What are we going to do? Our players already know how to play in crunch time. The problem was in Game 3, there was no such crunch time to talk about. You know what I think, tell you the truth? And this is a little tangent. Please, Stephen A., stay away from MSG. Please, please, please. We don't need that fake fandom aura in the arena. We don't need all that orange and blue skies. Orange and blue skies when you ain't around. Am I worried? No. Am I scared? Nah, not at all. Am I concerned? No. Am I confident? Yes. Am I confident that we will go into Game 5 up 3-1? Yes, I am. I don't ride bandwagons. I don't jump off bandwagons when the going gets tough. When you get a little turbulence. I don't do that. I am a little superstitious though. Now, game 1 and game 2, I was so close and coming and blessing the masses with a couple sprinkles of salt. And I'm like, no. I'm gonna let this play out. I don't want to quote unquote touch the proverbial money on the table. Not yet. I didn't want to put out that feeling of arrogance out into the universe. No, not yet. I'm the type of person that if, let's say, they start playing and I'm busy at work or so forth, and I look at the notifications and they're winning and they continue winning, I will intentionally not watch the game to keep that aura going. But if I start watching the game from the beginning and they're winning and they're going up and down or whatever, then I feel like I need to continue watching. That's what I did in game 1. Game 1, I watched pretty much from the beginning to the end. So ups and downs, and we prevailed. Game 2, I was at work, got the notifications, and I was like, you know what? Snip and tuck. Oh, shoot, we're coming back. You know what? I'm not going to watch. I'm going to put my faith in my Knicks, and they prevailed. Game 3 was a mixture. Game 3, I was at work. I was listening during the radio, and for some reason they just didn't show up. So it was what it was. So on to game 4. Would it be a sprinkle of salt afterward? Who knows? Depends. It really depends. If I see some chicanery, if I see some foolishness, if I see some foul play, if you will, perhaps. But if it's straight up, and we win or lose, you might see this grill on your screen before game 5. But it's only one way to find out. Now, I guess let's talk about this freaking wrestling.
You know, cause I'm driving, so I gotta get this off my chest while I'm thinking about it. You know what my problem is right now with viewing WWE right now, besides all the self-inflicted mistakes or whatever, is this. People want to say the reason why the John Cena heel turn isn't working is because people were cheering him. So him saying that the fans were against him and so forth is falling on deaf ears because that's not true, which is true. But there's something that just popped in my head. Do you want to know why people were cheering him in the last, I'll just say, 8 years when he did choose to wrestle? Was one important reason, one important factor. He was not in a position to be pushed down our throats. He was not in the main event position. He was not the champion. The U.S. Championship run, great. That's where everything started turning and tide. The tide started turning. Then when he came back, yeah, he hadn't won a singles match in 6 years. Why do you think people actually liked it? Because he was not being pushed down our throat. And I'm not saying he's being pushed down our throat now. It's just the fact that he's in a position of having to be the focal point due to his retirement. But even if you take the title off him and he does this retirement tour, you take the title off him and he's doing the heel run, fine. Because you have an alternative. Right now, everything is secondary to the John Cena retirement heel turn run. I'm sorry. I feel like it's 10 years ago. I feel like it's 10 plus years ago where Listen, I started getting tired then, and it just reminded me like, that's not what I want to see. You know what this reminds me of? And the ages are actually very comparable. Remember Hulk Hogan came back the first time and he won the championship from Triple H? And quickly, people realized this is not what I really wanted. Yeah, nostalgia great, but it's not what I really wanted. I didn't want Hulk Hogan and Undertaker in the main event. And then gradually, they realized, okay, he has to be a special attraction. Now, I know this is Cena's last year. But, yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because even if the matches were going to be better, which they're not due to Cena himself, even if the matches were going to be better, until we get later on in the year, there's nobody thinks that John Cena is losing that title right now. There's too much invested in the quote unquote. That's a story that they're telling for him to drop it so quick. So it's almost once again a fait accompli. It's not LOL Cena wins, but it's just like, that's so same old shit.
Those were my words last night. Immediately following Backlash, when I was corresponding with a friend of my group chat, who y'all probably know by now, and I'm not going to mention his name again right now. I've been very underwhelmed by wrestling as a whole, but specifically WWE, since the build for Wrestlemania. Wrestlemania was like the cherry on top of, really, this is what I was investing myself into, and this is what we got. And then afterward, to me, it really hasn't been that much better. And once again, this is coming from a WWE tried and true follower, fan, acolyte, what have you. I'm going to admit it myself. Do you know when I turned on the PLE and the main event was starting, I can truthfully admit that I was hate watching? Like, I turned it on and I'm watching the promo for the main event, and I'm sucking my teeth and rolling my eyes while I'm watching the product. I hadn't felt that way in years. I hadn't felt that way in eons. I hadn't felt that way since the last time John Cena was on top. I was watching the match and I wasn't expecting no 5-star classic. I wasn't expecting no catch can wrestling. Oh, no. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I saw. I wasn't even watching big meaty men slapping meat. I was watching two pros, two legends of their era face off in the diminished version. But if you think about it, even when both were in their primes, they never had A1 matches. It was something that was told to us that this is the match between John Cena and Randy Orton. The difference is, for this match, of course, are the roles. John Cena's the heel and Randy Orton is the face. But even more importantly than that, Randy Orton is his true, authentic self portrayed as a face in the face role, in the fan favorite role. John Cena is playing the bad guy. And I emphasize playing the bad guy. Everything is so freaking melodramatic with John Cena. The match itself was nothing to write home about. You had your near falls, you had your false finishes, you had your ref bumps. You had one ref bump where the ref is knocked out for how long? About 5-10 minutes after taking a bump off the ring stairs. While all the chicanery happens. And then another ref runs to the ring and he gets taken out by another ref bump. And then less than a minute later, all the officials run down to the ringside to look after ref number 2. But meanwhile, ref number 1 is still unconscious outside the ring. Did anybody give a F about ref number 1? No. It seemed like that spot was specifically to set up Nick Aldis to get the RKO for the 3rd time. This one has not been prepaid. This one will, I guess, go forward starting this Friday night on Friday Night SmackDown. Whoopee. What are we setting up? A SummerSlam match between Nick Aldis and the legend killer Randy Orton? Okay. Whoopee. Randy Orton in his rage starts hearing the voices in his head, and he RKOs all the officials that came out. Whoopee. Then, right when he had John Cena right where he wanted, R-Truth comes out, and he prevents Randy Orton from kicking the head off of John Cena's shoulders. Punting. And he gives him an RKO, but that little bit of a distraction allowed John Cena to recover and give him his finisher now. The shot to the balls. The shot with the belt. And ref number 1 finally crawls into the ring to issue the 1, the 2, the 3. All right, is my disgust supposed to be expected? There's a difference between heel heat and go away heat. And maybe I'm probably in the minority. But right now, to me, Cena in this role has go away heat. Backlash, I will give them credit to making the illusion of a great show to the majority of people being the fact that, you know who is missing from this show? The whole term Backlash is supposed to be repercussions from Wrestlemania, right? So the other half of, night 1's main event was totally missing. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman. They were non-existent. The best match on WrestleMania, the triple threat for the Women's World Championship, all 3 of those participants were missing. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky. Because, we have to save the tag team match for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne and Julia. There was a rousing IC title match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship between the man Becky Lynch and the champion Lyra Valkyria, in which Lyra retained. Great. Bailey's nowhere to be found. I get it. You don't want to take the shine off of what you were trying to give Lyra. And Becky is to be commended for doing what everybody expects her to do, and that's to make sure she's legitimately trying to get Lyra over. Something that her compadre is foreign of. It's like a foreign language to her, but we're not talking about Tiff. We're not talking about Charlotte. Matter of fact, Tiffany Stratton, nowhere to be found in this match. Found in this PLE. We had Dom and Penta with El Grande Americano interfering and helping Dominic Mysterio retain. Okay. We had the 4-way match for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu retaining against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. With the debuting Jeff Cobb helping a surprise Jacob Fatu retain. Okay. But see how all the smoke and mirrors happened to give the illusion that this was a great show? No tag team title match, because we had that. Matter of fact, we had a tag team match the night before on SmackDown with Street Profits and Fraction. What I'm getting at is this. John Cena in this role, I feel, and maybe, like I said, I'm probably in that minority. I feel that John Cena in this role is going to start chasing fans away. Fans that have left, came back. Oh, John Cena's back. Oh, John Cena's back. Oh, and he's still doing the same old shit. Nah, I'm good. Y'all told me for the last couple years that WWE was the hot thing. The tribal chief. CM Punk is back. What's this? Bianca. Y'all told me homegirl with the long hair. The other woman that calls herself mommy. I thought she was. All I'm seeing is John Cena versus Randy Orton. So that's 10 years ago. Damn, Sammy ain't even on the show. What I'm afraid of is this. Twice during the main event. Matter of fact, forget the afraid part. Twice during the main event, Cody Rhodes' name was brought up. Both, and tell you the truth, disparaging manner. When John Cena poked Randy Orton in the eye, and then Randy Orton retaliated with a poke to John Cena's eye, it was said on commentary, you see, that was Cody Rhodes' major mistake during WrestleMania. He wasn't willing to get down and dirty to retain his championship. Well, guess what? Randy Orton has no such apprehension in doing such things. Do you think that's doing Cody Rhodes any good? Remember, Cody Rhodes has yet to be seen nor heard from since WrestleMania. The last image we have of Cody Rhodes was on the ramp, looking in the ring at John Cena to celebrate his 17th championship that he did not win on the up and up. The last image we saw of Cody Rhodes, if you watched the post show, was Cody Rhodes getting led to his travel bus by his wife, shielding his face and turning down an opportunity to talk, to have an interview. That's the last time we saw Cody Rhodes. Literally, the last time we saw Cody Rhodes, he had his tail firmly tucked between his legs. And all you're doing by bringing him up in such fashion is preparing him to be booed, to be looked upon as, oh, Cody Rhodes is pussy when he comes back. Unless they're trying to legitimately set him up to return, to have some type of resentment to the fans to actually make his heel turn, but it's way too early for Cody Rhodes to be turned heel. Didn't I say in the past that I think Cody Rhodes is set up to fail? That Cody Rhodes was set up to fail by The Rock, by The Rock wanting to turn him like this, because in hindsight, The Rock probably was like, the fans rejected me. I'm a legend. I'm The Rock. I'm the people's champion. I'm the most electrifying man in entertainment today. How dare them? Guess what? Oh, y'all chose Cody over me. Guess what? I'm gonna prove to y'all that y'all were wrong. And he wanted Cody Rhodes to turn heel. John Cena's heel turn would have been much better if what we heard was true, is true, that John Cena should have turned heel at WrestleMania. That low blow to win the championship should have been the heel turn, not the heel turn a month and a half prior. And then we had 2 weeks of nothing, then 3 weeks of blaming the fans. It should have been the culmination of the desperation that he had and the fact that he had not won a singles match in 6 years. And he finally got this opportunity to win number 17 on the grand stage at his last WrestleMania. And that is what he was willing to do to win the championship. That should have happened. But no, John Cena wanted to turn earlier and literally neuter Cody Rhodes. In my humble opinion. And now we have this heel turn of John Cena, and who's his next opponent? They didn't do anything to set up his next opponent. People would say, well, they didn't do anything at WrestleMania to set up his next opponent, but you kind of read the tea leaves. From what I'm hearing, his next opponent is supposed to be R-Truth, possibly. After he FU'd AA R-Truth during the post-show press conference. That what we really want to see? Beating the holy hell out of R-Truth might further his heel turn, but at the same time, we kind of prove what I've been saying all along, that WWE don't respect minorities. You know, that's right. You know how we're gonna get heel heat on John Cena? Let him beat up the retard. Oh, my bad. R-Truth. The simpleton. Yeah. So I guess now what? Now what? Who's next? One last thing that I will say before I wrap this up. Now, post-show, when it went to black and then they came back on the feed, St. Louis was serenading John Cena because that was his last time in St. Louis. Thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena. And can't tell me this was natural. He knew the cameras were still running. He had a reflective look, an emotional look of almost like, darn, what have I done? The fans still like me. Or the fans actually like me. After everything I've said for the last month and a half, they're giving me thanks. And he went back he went up the ramp, almost conflicted of, darn, should I have I gone about this all wrong? Maybe I've gone too far. You know that same look, and this I'm going to date myself, but that same look he had at the end of Unforgiven 2006, where he beat Edge in a TLC match to recapture the WWE Championship, where he had literally gave Edge the FU off the top of the ladder through 2 or 3 tables, and he looked at himself like, this is what I had to do to become the champion again? I don't like who I become. Melodramatic bullshit. I'm sorry. Maybe part of me is mad at myself for even comparing this to NWO, even comparing this to the turn of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, well, the turn of Hulk Hogan into Hollywood. Maybe it's me reading tea leaves all wrong. Maybe. Or maybe I'm spot on, and that's why I'm just flabbergasted in what this shit has actually become, which is what it's become. John Cena, sir. John Cena, sir. John Cena, sir. John Cena, sir. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, there will not be a new edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, as my wife twerks on the side of me for my eyes only, right? Oh, she's looking at me like I'm crazy. I know what I saw at the corner of my eye. I saw ass. I saw ass just floating. Anyway, I know I probably shouldn't have said that on air, but so be it. It's Happy Mother's Day, and she's happy that it's Mother's Day. So am I. But yeah, next week I will not have a brand new edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast because I'm taking a week off. I'm taking a week off for multiple reasons. Reason number one is I feel like taking a week off. Number two, but probably most importantly, if you want to see me, I will be on another platform. I will be on the platform of Winchester and McDowell Gimmick Infringement. Yes, I will be a guest on Gimmick Infringement next week, talking probably more about this John Cena situation, probably talking about some AEW, talking about whatever's happened in pop culture over the last week, and probably some things that are, unbeknownst to me up until the time that we start recording. So yeah, if you want to check me out, check out the fellas at Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group.
And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken, TMB, if you will. It is Sunday as we record this. I'm still kind of tired from the first week back, but Tyler, how we doing?
I bet you are, man. It was quite the weekend. I'm doing great. I was telling you on Friday night, I caught up with one of my best friends from.
Yes, please check out the bros from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester McDowell, each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. While you're over there, please check out the young OG from Chi-Town.
Hip to the Games, the podcast for you, the basketball junkie and the hip-hop head. I'm your host, Desmond, and I too have had hoop dreams and enjoy the beautiful genre of hip-hop and its history. Together, we will enjoy some of the greatest albums, songs, artists, players, moments, teams, and so much more, while even mixing the two on occasion, all in my hope that you remember why you love both or either of these to begin with. You'll soon understand that Hip to the Games is more than just a podcast. It's a lifestyle. And if you were looking for a platform that combines both basketball and hip-hop, you've come to the right place.
please check out the young OG himself, Desmond Power, and Hip to the Games on the 19 Media Group YouTube channel, and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. He is still fully entrenched in the NBA playoff season. And please check out his latest episode where he gets an update of his views, what he's gotten right, which is, I ain't gonna lie, the boy been on point. And what's up to come, what's yet to come. Like I said last week, and I'm saying this without even talking to him, but I'm quite sure everything will be fine and dandy. When at this point, when my New York Knicks season is over, hopefully it will not be over until June, but when my New York Knicks season is over, I hope to have him on my platform so we can have an overview of the successes, the failures, or matter of fact, everything's not a failure. Nothing is a failure, but the shortcomings of my New York Knickerbockers. And I know you're probably like, well, last time we were talking about Golden State. Golden State's still around. Steph has a hamstring pull. He might be back for Game 5. Draymond's still doing Draymond things. Now he's getting on the media because he doesn't want to be portrayed as the angry black man. Look, I'm sorry. I think you've done that all by your lonesome, haven't you? So I don't want. You know what? I'll say that for a later day. But yeah, please check out Hip to the Game by the young OG, Desmond Powell, on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. And last but not least, check out 4AZ.
What we gonna do? Drive around, raise the sunroof, rap loud. We gon' come through, cause we got no time to waste. Gotta rap where we come from. Ain't a fight that we could ever run from. Tell your girl she can kick it if she wants some.
Tell your girl she can come kick it if she wants some. Cause we got no time to waste. Matter of fact, let's run that back.
What we gonna do? Drive around, raise the sunroof, rap loud. We gon' come through, cause we got no time to waste. Gotta rap where we come from. Ain't a fight that we could ever run from. Tell your girl she can kick it if she wants some.
Tell your girl come kick it if she wants some. Cause we got no time to waste. Please check out Tyler McDowell Blanken's second entity, his solo entity, 4AZ. That's right, 4AZ, available each and every week on the YouTube channel of 4AZ Teach. Please check out 4azteach.org for all the latest on 4AZ, the movement, the podcast, the YouTube show, the whole nine. Please, 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 you'll be glad you did. So, damn, I think I'm 73 minutes. Wow. They're getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. Because
Talking things that make you blush, but trust us, it's a must. From awkward to taboo, we're here to guide you through. It don't matter if you're a bit of a prude, it's a prude awakening.
Prude Awakenings hopefully will be coming back soon. I just missed that jingle so much that I had to play it. It's almost like a throwback nowadays. It's a must. Trust us. It's a must. Yeah. So, like I said, next week, please be on the lookout for my continuation of my special series, WrestleMania Memories. I believe episode 12 or 13 just dropped, recapping WrestleManias 15 and 16. And the next one, talking about WrestleMania 17, will be dropping this week. At this point in time, by the next time we have a full-fledged Salty Thoughts of Mike Step podcast, 17, 18, 19, 20, we'll probably be up to 22. So please subscribe, press that like button, press the notification button, so whenever I drop, y'all will be the first ones to hear it.
He lied. Y'all niggas worship him. Lied.
Yo, I did not lie. I told y'all what to expect. I gave y'all a clear outline on what's to come up. And I got this mother effer.
He lied. Y'all niggas worship him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the lying part, but I have been told that people worship him.
He lied. Fuck that.
Clear, guys.
He lied. Fuck that.
Clear, guys.
Fuck that. You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The ref doesn't give a fuck.
Okay, yeah. That shows you I'm getting bored right now, so it's time for me to wrap this up. So I will see y'all in 2 weeks. But please, like I said, keep a watch out for a couple episodes of Mike Steph's WrestleMania Memories that'll be dropping throughout my little hiatus. So yeah, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. And until then, goodbye. Say goodbye.